Good day. The 1990s was a great era to be a gamer. New gameplay styles were being introduced all the time, innovation rather than stagnation was the order of the day, and games actually required effort. And one such amazing game from the 1990s was The Incredible Machine.
The Incredible Machine is a puzzle game wherein you make a Rube Goldberg device to complete simple tasks. You have access to a limited number of tools in order to create said machine, and that is really all there is to the gameplay. You solve puzzles with the provided tools. Not much else to really say. Really, the most notable thing about this game is the fact that it has a physics engine which was really quite advanced for 1992. Although there are a few times where the physics don't really make much sense. For example, how the hell is this bowling ball bouncing around like a bloody basketball? Some pieces act as motivators, and one must ensure that said motivator is set to apply force in the proper direction. The game has a huge number of puzzles that can range from very easy to extremely difficult, and sometimes the difficulty can be all over the bloody place. You may complete a puzzle in 2 seconds, and then the very next one may take you 2 hours. And that's really what makes this game so addicting. Each time you complete a puzzle, you can't help but be motivated to complete another one. The graphics for the game are what I would like to call timeless. They looked good in the 1990s and they still hold up today, and that's because they are fairly simple. You have a static blue background and then 2D sprites for the puzzle pieces, and the sprites themselves look really good and are well detailed. Really, how are high poly, high res, high textures going to make this game look any better? A bowling ball is a bowling ball no matter what kind of graphics you use. The music is absolutely amazing, and it's an almost perfect puzzle game soundtrack. Just listen.
Listening to this music actually made me kind of sad and very wistful for the 1990s. That was just such a good era of gaming. Games actually featured innovation. Game companies didn't care if the game was too hard or if it was controversial. Nowadays, all you get is the same old crap, copy and pasted numerous times. And hell, back in the day, sequels actually made the game more complicated rather than more simple.
The game comes with a fairly robust puzzle creator. You get access to all the tools, and you can control both the gravity and the air pressure. And this essentially makes the game's replayability almost infinite. Essentially, it's limited by one's imagination. Here's an example of a puzzle I created in about 2 seconds. I want to launch this rocket, so I have a mouse go after some cheese, fall down on this flashlight, the flashlight is then turned on and shines through this magnifying glass, the light is magnified, and then lights this candle, and then the candle lights the fuse, and then the rocket is launched. That is just awesome. And just imagine if you actually put some real time and effort, you could really make some very insane devices. The Incredible Machine was one of my favorite games from the 90s, right up there with the likes of Doom and Hexen. This game was both then and now a fairly unique puzzle game. Most puzzle games today are just a bunch of matching games, and in the past you mainly had inventory puzzles. But this game, you actually have to apply some logic. You have to figure out how one object will act upon another object, and in turn act upon yet another object. This game really cannot be won due to blind luck. You actually have to think and figure out just how you're going to get this incredible machine to work.
The Incredible Machine would go on to garner several sequels, each of varying quality, with the last one being released in 2002. Now you can find all of these games on GOG.com under the Incredible Machine Mega Pack. And I cannot recommend this game enough. Really, if you're not a puzzle game fan, you will most likely like this game since it actually requires actual logic to figure out. And so, this is General Lotz, signing off.